This Elden Ring endgame is really challenging my resolve. Between Godskin Duo, Beast Clergyman, Sir Gideon, Godfrey Malenia, like holy heck, stop putting walls. What the frick is this? Welcome back, classy crew. I have been busy whittling away my list of bosses. So last time I was walled on Godskin Duo. I'm happy to say they're dead. Both of them, no more freaking Godskin Duos. There better not be a triple Godskin Duo or I will lose it. And I'm making progress towards the endgame, boss after boss, Beast Clergyman, Sir Gideon and Godfrey. What is this? What is this? What is this? Whoa. Godfrey took my lunch money, and you know what? It's okay. You enjoy that. And then if I don't want to go that way, I have Malenia, who's also been on my back for the past 3-4 weeks, and I cannot take down. But I'm happy to say I am at least making progress on my walls. I am whittling away, and I've also cleaned out like 15 other bosses on the list. So let me share all this with you. I'd also love to hear what you think is harder out of these 5 last endgame bosses. I know that there's one more after Godfrey, and then we're done. Credits roll, but it doesn't matter because my pledge is to complete every single boss with no summons. So last time there were 37 bosses, now there are 19. The Godskin Duo is done, finished, and oh my goodness, this one took me probably an hour, but I have to say, with even an hour of Godskin Duo, it didn't traumatize me as much as other bosses. I always felt it was achievable, and I was trying different strategies. What really gets me in the Godskin Duos is the roll. Oh, come on! Now, I was told if you go on the pillar, you're safe. And then one time he did roll, and I was there, and I was watching him roll, and I was like, you can't do anything because I'm on the pillar. And I got curious. My little curious brain was like, I am invincible. Can I hit him? And the strategy that ended up working for me is because I have so much trouble with rolling, the rolly guy, I just focused on the skinny dude and I just killed him and killed him and killed him. And he keeps being revived, but it doesn't matter because it all counts toward the same boss health bar. So I killed the skinny guy like 3-4 times. And then it was just me and the chunky guy. He did revive the skinny guy, but I'm like, oh, there's so little health left. And I jumped up with my flaming sword and came down on him and made fire go everywhere, and he died. In hindsight, that was very risky because I thought that gives me iframes doing that jump. So I did it because I thought it would protect me. And the chat was like, you know, you don't have iframes when you do that. You could have died there. I was like, oh, I'm glad I don't exist in that timeline because in this one, we won. I came across this like kind of ladder pathway where a draconian sentinel was. I was like, whoop. I was watching the horse. Oh my goodness. And I got killed eventually. And I'm just like, I'm not doing enough damage on this guy. This will take forever. And he doesn't have a health bar, like a boss health bar. So it doesn't matter. Why don't we just try to run by him? In fact, if you run by him, he doesn't even hit you, attack you. He doesn't do anything. He's too slow. So off I went to the next boss room where the Beast Clergyman of all things was here. Was not expecting to see him outside of his little chapel area. And aggressive he is here, really intimidating, really hard to fight. I found a good strategy for him, which is you hide behind the pillars, you let him wail, and as soon as he's done throwing his rock, you pop out from the pillar, you jump, you hit him, you go back behind the pillar, you play like tag, hide, and then after he throws his rock, you rinse and repeat. It's a pretty solid way to kill him without taking too much damage. And then he turns into freaking Maliketh. Cool name, by the way. But it's just so big and like intimidating, although less intimidating than the Beast Clergyman because it's just like big powerful attacks. And I've actually learned being close to Maliketh somehow makes you dodge naturally most of his attacks. I think he's just like really raw, like intimidating power. So as long as you roll close to him, you can dodge most stuff except for I think one attack which you have to roll away from. And so Maliketh died fairly easy after maybe like 4 or 5 tries. After that, I went back to, I got out of Fire Room thing. I guess I unsealed death or whatever I was there for. Now I'm back in Lindell. The tree is burning everywhere and there's ash all over the sky. So I really messed up the world. And I figured, let's go see what else we can do. So I went and found the Dung Eater. Because I remember he challenged me. He said, come and meet me outside the moat and we're going to have a fight. There, I did not find the Dung Eater. I found my shrimp boy, you know, the guy who says, hey, Maliketh's tits, like that guy. So he's there cooking some crabs. Oh, he's like my favorite dude in the whole franchise, which is, of course, why the game decides to kill him after. I have to say, shrimp guy, way better than Patches. Don't argue with me. It's just, you're not going to convince me. Patch is a dick. He kicks you when he has the chance, when you're down. Shrimp guy gives you freaking shrimp. he warns you about the Dung Eater. You respawn, you get back there, and then the Dung Eater freaking defiled them, which is not cool. So I killed the Dung Eater. I didn't really kill the Dung Eater. I fought the Dung Eater, and a crab, such justice. Dung Eater attacks Crabman and gets defiled himself by a massive crab. I love it. And he got a tree grown through him because he got death blighted. It was the best way to kill the Dung Eater. We defiled the Dung Eater. And then after that, I went back on track into the Lane Dell to see what's going on in here. Sir Gideon was there, and he's all like, you can't be the Elden Lord. I'm like, oh! So something happened in my first round that I thought I wasn't supposed to fight him. So when he was talking, I wasn't attacking, which was a mistake because that's when you get the most opening. I died to him, and having to go back into the room and run from across the room leaves you susceptible to all his attacks, something you don't have to experience the very first time you fight him. And so I struggled hard against Gideon because his spells were just eating me alive. And so I had to keep running back at him, and just like, he is a menace at a distance. So the fact that I lost my chance to do so much damage on him when I was close in the first encounter made that really hard, and people were laughing at me because I can see that Gideon's not supposed to be hard. But man, I was struggling to hit him, and he was just destroying me. But he fell, which opened the way to the next area. We're right at the foot of the tree, and this guy Godfrey comes out with like a freaking stand of like a lion or something. Godfrey is so intimidating. I just don't know. I can tell that there's a phase 2 because of his lion on his back. I can't even get to it. It's going to be some next level Nameless King BS because I can tell I can dodge his attacks, but when you mess up, you're pretty much dead. It requires a lot of precision, and it's going to be hard. So I tried a few times, and I was like, nope, let's go back to Malenia. I have some tricks I want to try on her. So I went back, and I learned that she is weak to pot of cold pots when she's about to do her waterfowl dance. So I made a bunch of those, went in to try it, only to find out you have to pretty much pull out your pot right away when she jumps because your guy's like, where's my pot? Where's my pot? Gonna throw the pot. It turned out to be pretty useless to me, and I was like, this ain't gonna work. So I stayed naked, and I was like, let's keep practicing evade. And somebody taught me, they're like, look, you want to run away from the first two. You want to roll towards her on the third one, and then just roll away on the fourth one. I've gotten to the point where I can actually reliably dodge waterfowl dance, as assuming I am not locked in an animation when she starts it. That's the only caveat. So I have to be very careful when she gets to health, when her health diminishes so much that she can execute it. Because if I decide to attack at the wrong time and she jumps up, I'm just like, well, I'm dead because I have no time to run away. So it's a very careful game of watching what she's doing, whipping. It does, like, it puts you on edge. But I'm so glad I figured out how to deal with waterfowl dance to some degree. The next thing is, once I figured that out, I was like, this is just taking so long to like watch her, observe her, hit her. I wasn't doing enough damage. I'm like, I understand what I need to do. Can we just make this go faster? And so I went and got my 2 whips, and I converted them to bleed. I got rid of my fire whip, brought another whip, put a bleed mechanic on it, and then I completely got rid of all my faith, put it on arcane, and so we can do bleed now, which does take her health down a lot faster. It doesn't really it makes the fight a little easier, but it doesn't trivialize it. I still need to know how to dodge her attacks, when to attack. So to me, some people are saying it's hacks. I'm like, no, this is not cheese. This is... So I actually did make it to phase 2 with Malenia using this once, and then more BS came out. She's like, wujja, 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 and then just attacking me from everything, and she got naked, and then there were butterflies attacking me, and I died, and I was like, nope, you're going in the... No. Just no. I've dealt with too much BS tonight. I'm not doing you. And then I had another stream because I found this amazing boss sheet because I don't know what bosses are left in the world. So I went on Reddit. I found this boss sheet, which hopefully is on screen. You can find this in my Discord. I've pinned it to the Elden Ring channel if you want to use it. It's a checklist of all 165 bosses with health bar in the game by region. This was fantastic. So I went through the list, found everything I was missing, and I decided, you know what? I think that there's a lot of like easy bosses. Let's just go clean them up. And that's where I just went like crazy and knocked him out. So to be thorough in my journals, I'm going to name them all, but they're all repeats and I killed them all very easily. So in Liurnia, we had Crystallian Duo, dead. Frenzied Duelist, dead. Came across some Mad Pumpkin Heads, dead. I had to do Selin's side quest. So I actually did all of her side quests, which is quite interesting. And through that, I came across the Crystallian Trio in Caelid, dead. That was kind of challenging though. The Deathrite Bird, dead. The Black Knife Assassin. This was actually kind of hard. This one had, because I didn't have my torch to see it, so I had to look in the water to see where its steps were. It was kind of cool, but otherwise don't like Black Knife Assassins, so that died. In that same cave, we had the Necromancer Garrus. Oh my god, he died so fast, but I found a nice cloak near him, so that was nice. Went to another cave, got the Misbegotten and the Perfumer combo. They died. Another Night Cavalry in the mountain. That died. Omen Killer and Miranda. That died. Sanguine Noble. That died. An ulcerated tree spirit somewhere in the mountain. That was scary, but it died. Abductor Virgins. These things were such BS. I had to go to Hogwarts, the castle, go into the basement under a wheel, let a virgin kill me inside it, and then I end up in the volcano mountain where I have to like traverse and do some hip hopping to fight two virgins here, which is such the most diluted, convoluted way to have a boss fight. Anyways, they died. Then I went back to Lanedale, found the Crucible Knight Ordovis with the Crucible Knight, and I found the Grave Warden Duelist, which by the way, some of these caves were awesome. One of them was like a prison, and you had to find like the switch to open all the jail cells. So with that, my final boss count is 19. There are about 10 bosses, which I will be cleaning up very easily. They're all mostly duplicates in the later regions of the game, so they're going to be a bit harder. And there's pretty much 9 bosses left, which I think are going to be walls for me, most of which I have already come across. I'm getting close to finishing this pledge. I think I can finish it by Christmas. Let me get this counter down to single digits, and then we're going to whittle away at these walls and crush them and finish this pledge. I'll see you on the next journal or on the stream, and until next time, keep it classy.